The community of Estacada is reeling. There is no other way to put it. I spoke to the grandmother of one of the teens killed in the crash. She says the only thing getting the family through this difficult time is the support of the community. She says it's been overwhelming in a good way. Beyond that, there is nothing good about what happened late Monday night near South Springwater and Redland Roads. Authorities tell us the driver of a sedan lost control on South Springwater and spun right into the path of an oncoming F-350 pickup. 5 people were in the sedan, all between the ages of 14 and 18. We're told the driver and 1 passenger survived, but 3 others died. The Estacada School District posted on Facebook it's deeply grieved to learn of a tragic car accident involving students from our district and community. Our thoughts are with the families impacted, a sentiment shared by many.
I'm 79. If I died today, it wouldn't be that big a loss, but look what they've lost. You know, they've lost years and years. It's just unbelievable.
Late Tuesday, we learned the driver of the sedan carrying the teens had been arrested. He's identified as 18-year-old Devin Kurtz. He was jailed on a number of charges, including 3 counts of manslaughter and 1 count of DUII. It's worth mentioning the driver of the pickup truck that was involved in the crash is a 27-year-old man. He did not require medical attention at the scene. In the meantime, anyone with information about this crash is urged to contact the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. Reporting in downtown Estacada, I'm Mike Benner for KGW News.